Hello and welcome to Show Me Tech Tips, and in this tutorial video I'm going to show you all about Google Chrome extensions, what they are, how to install them onto your browser, and a few things just to watch out for. So let's get started. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is what is a Google extension. So a Google extension is a bit like an app for your browser. So as the name suggests, what it's doing is actually adding something to your browser capabilities. It's almost like it's giving it small superpowers to let it do things that you wouldn't normally be able to do. So they're basically little bits of code or small applications that run alongside your browser to try and enhance your browsing experience. So we can break them down into categories. So the first category let's talk about is those that are specific to websites, and those are general extensions. So general extensions are extensions that work pretty much on every website you visit. So I'm in Chrome now. You can see I've just opened up Wikipedia, and you can see that I've already got these little icons next to my address bar, and they are already extensions that I have running for my browser. And I'm going to go through and show you some of the extensions that I've got, and these ones are the general ones that will work pretty much on every web page. So the first one I'm going to show you is a color picker. Now all this does is I use this when I'm on a client's website and maybe I want to find out the exact color they've used in a logo so that I'm matching it precisely, or maybe I want to create a banner, and again I want to get the branding colors the same as theirs. So in order to do that, I can go to my color picker extension. So you can see these icons here. My color picker one would be this one called Eyedropper. I click on it and I go pick color from website, and then literally wherever I'm pointing you can see that the cursor is changing to the color that it's pointing at. So here I'm on the dark green, move over to the blue, I can go down to the photos here. I'm pointing at different parts of the mouse, and you can see it's just changing. So let's say I wanted to get this blue sky color. You can see in the bottom right of the screen it's telling me the RGB value. So the RGB value just allows you to get the precise color. So I can click on that, and then you'll notice the little patch up here has changed to that color. If I click on it, I can get all the details. So I can get the hex value, the color value as a RGB, and various other bits of information. Now of course you might be thinking, well, that's not something you'd ever use, but it's just an example of an extension that you could get and how it works on any web page. So I've got a few here I'm just going to show you. I've got LastPass. So LastPass is a password manager. I'm going to do a video on that. So check out my channel, remember to subscribe so you can see when that comes up. And I've got one here called Link Clump. Now Link Clump, what that allows me to do is, let's say I've got these 9 things on the right here and I wanted to open all of them. Now of course it's unlikely on Wikipedia I'm going to want to open lots of links at once, but if I was like browsing properties on a property website, or maybe I'm on Amazon and I want to open 4 products at once so then I can flick between all of them at once, I can use something like Link Clump. So Link Clump allows me to open lots of links very quickly, and the way I would do that on Link Clump is I just hold down Z, and you can see when I do that and I highlight that I'm going to open all 9 of these links in one go. So as soon as I let go, hopefully you can see along the top of the screen all of those have opened as separate tabs. So again, that can be incredibly useful depending on what you do, but it's a feature that's very nice. And that's done by installing this Link Clump. So those ones are general ones that can kind of look at what you're doing as you're browsing the website. And then there are website specific ones. So an example of that would be the top cashback one. So if I go to a well-known retailer, now I'll just load up Boots, which is well known within the UK, and straight away I've got this extra banner here. Now this banner's come up because I've got the top cashback extension installed, and it's saying, look, if you click on this button here, you're going to get 10% cashback. And again, I'm going to talk through the top cashback site on another video. So again, subscribe if you want to find out when that comes onto my channel. So you can see here that this only comes up on this. If I go to a non-retail site, such as Google, just general Google site, notice how the banner does not come up from top cashback, and there's no icon there, and there's nothing to click from top cashback. And some are even more specific than that. So for instance, I use vidIQ as a YouTube creator. So if I go to youtube.com, you can see lots of great videos here. But you'll see that I've got some extra information, and it's telling me how many views they've got. Now on a standard YouTube, you would not get this information. This extra information that's been put on the website has been done so by vidIQ. So that's really important, that you can get extensions that actually enhance individual web pages and add information in. So for instance, if you're a Amazon seller, you can get lots of Amazon extensions that will tell you how often something's being bought on Amazon. If you're an Amazon buyer, you can get extensions that will allow you to see the price changes and whether you're getting a good deal or a bad deal. You can also see down the left here, I've got some extra options. Again, these are all being placed in by the vidIQ extension. So if I didn't have that extension, those options would not appear. So you can see again, some extensions work on all websites, some are very specific. Now the second thing to realize is, are these extensions free? And the answer is sometimes. So just like apps on your phone, you can get free versions, you can get ones that are totally free, and you can get trial versions, and you can get full versions where perhaps you have to pay. So just be aware of that. However, just like on the App Store that you download apps for your phone, there are some amazing free ones, and no matter what you do and how you browse the web and what you browse the web for, you're going to find out that you get an extension that makes your life easier. It's just a case of finding one that you find useful. Okay, so let's have a look at how we add in extensions. So you can see my address bar here where I type in a web address and then go along to the right. I'm looking for a jigsaw piece, and that's this one here. So this is not actually an extension as such. This is how I would organize my extensions. And if I click on that, it's going to tell me which extensions I've got and which ones I've got icons on, because some of these I don't necessarily need to see the icons for all day, every day, and so they don't need to be pinned. Whereas other ones, it's useful to have the ones there and pinned. So let's have a look at how I would manage those. So I can go to manage extensions, and then I've got this screen here. Now if for some reason you haven't got that little jigsaw piece there, or you can't find it, another way of getting to it is to click on the three dots in the right hand corner, and then you need to go to more tools, so it's in the way a little bit, and then down to extensions, and that's going to take you to this same page. So now that I'm in the Google extension page, it's giving me a list of all the extensions that I've got installed. So you can see there's quite a few of them here. And then of those, each one, if you look at this first one, it tells me a little bit about it, and it also tells me whether I've got it active or not. So I can have it installed but not running, or I can have it installed and running active if you like. So for instance, if I wanted to turn off the eyedropper one, I just click here, and you can see straight away that eyedropper disappeared from my icons along the top. If I click on it back, it puts it back. So if I suddenly needed to turn off an extension, if it was getting in the way or producing some strange results, you can just disable it, just temporarily, and everything's fine. Or you might find you want to remove it, you don't use it. So if you've got something where you're like, yeah, do you know what, I don't ever use this extension, I put it in, I tried it out, I didn't like it, then of course you can click on remove, and that will remove the item permanently from your extension list. Now also extensions get updated, so you can click on update and it will go through and update them all. just to make sure they're all up to date and you've got the latest versions. So that's often very useful. And you might look at this and go, well, okay, I've got nothing in my list because I've never put an extension on, so you might have a blank screen here. How on earth to get new extensions on? Well, this is where we go to the top left one, and again, it's not that obvious, but what you want to do is you want to go down to Open Chrome Web Store. So you go to the little menu bar and then Open Chrome Web Store. So here we are in the Google Extension Store, and just as you expect, you can see a lot of extensions here. This is only for extensions for Chrome, so all of these will run, and we can scroll down and we can just see all the different options, and it's very easy to get carried away with these, but you can browse those obviously at your leisure. Or you might think, oh, there's an activity that I know I do often, so maybe you're an Amazon shopper. If I type in Amazon, I can see straight away that there's 3 ones there. Now some of these again might have a cost involved. There's also themes, which again will change what it looks like. So if I wanted to find out Keeper, first thing I might do is just check the star rating. So I can see it's got a very high star rating because it's a well-known piece of software. I can click on it and then it gives me a little intro video I can watch. Look at what it's going to be used for, what does it do, what languages it comes in, how it works. Okay, so I can just go through and decide whether it's something I want. I can scroll through the screenshots, I can look at the reviews, look at the support, see how many users, 2 million users, so it's going to be a good thing to use. And you can carry on doing that. So let's do a quick example. Let's say that I wanted to change and put in a new one I haven't used before. So I'm going to put in this one called Google Translate. So I click on it, decide this is one I want to experiment with and try. It's from Google itself, so I know I can trust it. It's got a lot of users, 10 million users, and it's got a good star rating. So I'm going to put add to Chrome. Now it's going to tell you whether it's going to read specific websites, as we mentioned before, or whether it's going to be a general one. So this is all websites. So yes, I'm happy with it. I'm going to add extension, and it's now done it. Now this McAfee bit that's come up, that's just because it's a safety thing. Okay, so you might be thinking, okay, so where is the Google Translate extension? I can't see an icon on here which is listed. So again, I'm going to click on the jigsaw puzzle. Google Translate is here, so I want to make it show, so I'm going to click pin, and as soon as I click that, hopefully you saw this icon here came up. Okay, so I can click on it and I can decide what to translate. So if I want to translate, I don't know, bonjour, it tells me that's French for hello. I can even listen to how it's pronounced. Okay, but also if I go back to, let's say, this page here, and I want to translate a sentence, I can right click. Google Translate is now as a little menu item, you'll see. So I click on the Google Translate and it will convert it. In this case, it's decided to convert it from English to English, but that's not very useful. So let's put it into Spanish, for instance. Okay, so you can see that's a useful extension if you're someone that deals with multiple languages or likes to use Google Translate a lot. Now, if I decide I didn't want to keep it, again, I can click on it. I'm clicking on the right button, okay, and I can click remove from Chrome. That's another way, and I'm going to click remove. So there you can see, by all means, have a look there and see which of those extensions you like, but a few things just to watch out for just before we finish off. So just a few things just before we finish off this video. So the first one is make sure that when you're looking and you're installing a Google extension that it is trustworthy, because it is effectively running code on your machine and potentially it can read what is on web pages. So there are people who may go out and make malicious Chrome extensions, ones that are kind of misbehaving and reading information on your screen that you might not want them to read. So always make sure that it's got a high star rating is a really good way, and you recognize it as a trusted brand. If you're not sure, you can always of course do a quick Google search. So if I want to know if TabiGat extension was a trustworthy one, I might type in TabiGat Chrome extension review and just check that no one's saying this is a scam, this is malicious. Okay, whereas Microsoft Office here, I know it's a trustworthy company, Microsoft. I know this is the correct logo, and I know this is the one that I might want to put on. So I might, be slightly less diligent, but still do be careful about putting the extensions on if you don't know the company you're working with. Second of all, and again this is really important, is you might go through, especially at the beginning, and think, oh, I'm going to put on this extension, and I'll put on this one, and this one, and this one, and this one, and this one sounds good, and this one looks amazing, and this one's brilliant, and this one tells me what time it is in Outer Mongolia, and before you know it, you've got 100 extensions installed. Well, just be aware that that's going to put a workload onto your processor. And what on earth does that mean? Well, it means that when you're loading up Google Chrome, instead of just loading up the Chrome, it's got to load up all those extensions that you've got active. And that might cause several things. One, it might slow down your browsing experience, because every time a web page is loaded, some of those extensions are going to be looking through and checking to see whether it's a web page they can use. And it's just going to add a few extra seconds potentially onto you loading up web pages. So just be really careful with that, and just make sure that you're not putting lots of unnecessary extensions on, because one, it will slow down your browsing experience, and two, it might slow down your computer overall. So it's really worth trying to not go too overboard. Maybe try a couple of extensions out, and then after a week, if you've used them, great, keep them. If you don't use them, take them off your browser. Okay, and that way you won't slow down your computer, and you won't slow down your browser experience. So hopefully you found this video useful. If so, click the like button and remember to subscribe. This is Show Me Tech Tips, and I'll see you again all soon.